Welcome to tonight's video on 4.1 Part 2. First question is, what Greek letter is used to describe an angle? And that Greek letter is what is called theta. Whenever we talk about an angle in trigonometry, we always use the Greek letter theta. Arc length. Remember, theta in radians is called a central angle. All right, so theta is always a central angle. And remember, what it means to be a central angle is that the vertex is at the center of the circle. So remember, when we drew the picture last time, we had our angle here, central angle, and remember we had the arc length, which is S, and then we had the radius, which is R. And remember, S equals theta, or remember, sorry, theta equals S over R. So if we're talking about in terms of arc length, if we want to solve for arc length, because remember S is equal to the arc length and R is equal to the radius, then the arc length here, if I multiply by R on both sides, so S is equal to R times theta. And remember, theta is in radians. So if it's in degrees, we have to convert it to radians. So for example here, it says the concentric circles on an archery target. So if you look at an archery target, you're going to have concentric circles. You're going to have a circle there, and then you're going to have one that goes around it, kind of like a dartboard. The circles are 6 inches apart. So you have the radius here, but then the radius to the next for the bigger circle is going to be R plus 6. The inner circle, red, the inner circle, red, has a circumference of 37.7. What is the circumference of the next largest circle? And we'll change that to green. So remember, circumference is equal to 2 pi r. So it says the inner circle circumference is 37.7 equals 2 pi r. So what that means is that the radius of the inner circle is 37.7 over 2 pi. That's what the radius of the inner circle is right here. Now, it wants to know what is the circumference of the next largest yellow circle, or in this case we made it the green circle. Well, the circumference of the green circle, remember, you find it by going 2 pi r. And in this case, remember, it's going to be 2 pi times 37.7 over 2 pi plus 6, because remember, it's r plus 6. We found the radius of the inner circle to be 37.7 over 2 pi, so we just add 6 to that. So when we distribute here, notice we get 37.7 plus 12 pi inches. That is the circumference. When you put it in your calculator, 37.7 plus 12 pi gives you approximately 75.399111184 if you put that in your calculator. If you want to see how to type that in, you go 37.7 plus 12, and then the pi is second function, and the caret, and that gives you your pi button. And notice it gives you that. And that is your circumference. The next problem talks about automobile design, and it gives us tire sizes for 3 specific vehicles. We have a Ford Taurus, we have the Dodge Charger RT, and we have the Mercury Mariner. Those are the 3 vehicles that we have. And it says, compared to the Mercury Mariner, how many more revolutions must the tire of the Ford Taurus make in order to travel a mile? Well, remember, for the Ford, think of it this way. 1 mile is the same as 5,280 feet. Which is the same as, and remember, there's 12 inches in a foot. So there's 1 mile, there's 5,280 feet in a mile, and there's 12 inches in a foot. Let me get rid of that. So if you multiply that by 1 revolution, and remember, a revolution here of the tire is just the circumference, right? How far it goes around the circle. Well, the tire diameter in this case is 26.16 for the Ford. And remember, circumference is 2 pi r, or pi times diameter. So there's 1 revolution every 26.16 pi inches. Okay, so if you want to type this in your calculator, first you want to figure out basically how many inches are in a mile. So we go 5,280 times 12, and that gives us 63,360 inches per mile. Then we're going to divide that by 26.16 pi, because that's inches per revolution. And we're going to figure out how many revolutions we can make in a mile. So we divide. You got to put parentheses here, because if you don't, then it'll divide by 26.16 and multiply by pi, and you want it to do it all at once. So you get 770.952 revolutions. So it's approximately 771 revolutions that you're going to have to make in order to travel a mile. Now, for the Mercury Mariner, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take 63,360 inches per mile, but now we're going to divide it by 28.95 pi, because the diameter is 28.95, and we multiply by pi to get the circumference. So when we do that on our calculator, we get 63,360 divided by 28.95 pi. And we get approximately 696.65 3 revolutions, which means to round up, we get 697 revolutions. So notice, its question asked, how many more revolutions must the tire make for the Ford Taurus as opposed to the Mercury Mariner? Well, 771 minus 697 means that it's going to make approximately 74 more revolutions. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video that went over how to find arc length and use arc length in some applications. And I hope you enjoy your 4-day weekend or 3-day weekend, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good evening.